Hi, first graders. I'm looking forward to teaching you today. I missed you guys all last week. I thought that something I could do while we're getting everybody ready and getting everybody logged in. I see Jose's here. Hi, Jose. And Elijah and Penny and Nella. Good morning. And Caleb. Hi, Caleb. Well, I thought what I could do today, and maybe most mornings because it takes a little while for everybody to get caught up. Oh, there's Charlie and Will. Wow, so many kids are here today. This is so awesome. I thought I could read you some poems by Mr. Rogers because it's his birthday today. And Mr. Rogers, he was kind of like the original bucket filler. He is so good at just making people feel really good. So I thought I could read you some poems that he wrote today. And if you have time today, he has lots of videos on YouTube, and he always did these really cool things. When I was little, I loved watching when he would go to factories and learn how to make things. So if you have some time today, you could look up some Mr. Rogers videos because I always really liked those. I see Emerson and Maggie and Kellen. Well, before we get started, here are some poems. This one has really pretty illustrations. Look at how nice that is. This one's called Be the Best of Whatever You Are. If you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a shrub in the valley, but be the best little shrub by the side of the rill. If you can't be a woods, be a tree. If you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. Be the best of whatever you are. Isn't that a nice one? I love the pictures on this one. Let's read another one. This one's cute too. See this little owl here? It's called I Give a Hoot for You. It says, oh, I give a hoot for you, 'cause jolly, you're neat. Yes, I give a hoot for you, you simply couldn't be beat. You're nice as pie, and really I don't know when, why, or what. But I've got to say that in every way, you're my favorite. See how he wrote it in a different way to make it rhyme? It's on the balloon here too. Hi, Miss Roberson. We're reading poems for Mr. Rogers' birthday today. Oh, I give a hoot for you. You're swell. That's how I feel. Yes, I give a hoot for you. You're absolutely for real. I'm hoping too, as I hoot for you, that you will soon agree to hoot and howl like this wise old owl and give a hoot for me. Hoot. That's how I feel about you guys. And there's one more I thought that was really perfect for today. This one's called Things Are Different. And boy, they are. So sometimes it's okay that things are different, and sometimes it's okay to feel a little weird when things are different. But let's read what Mr. Rogers has to say about it. Things are different. You never know the story by the cover of the book. You can't tell what a dinner's like by simply looking at the cook. It's something everyone needs to know way down deep inside, that things are often different than the way they look. When I put on a costume to play a fancy part, that costume changes just my looks. It doesn't change my heart. You cannot know what someone's thinking by the picture you just took, because things are often different from the way you look. That's a nice one. This was my favorite part. When I put on a costume to play a fancy part, the costume changes my looks. It doesn't change my heart. That's kind of like school right now. The costume of our school looks way different. We're not in our classroom right now, but it doesn't change how we feel about school and how we feel about each other. It just means it looks a little different right now, and that's okay. And hopefully we'll take the costume off one day and things will be able to be the same. So that was a really nice one to read today. So if you have some time today, go look up Mr. Rogers. He is an awesome bucket filler. Okay. So I thought what we could do today is we're going to practice some magic E words because we learned those a long time ago, and sometimes they can still be pretty tricky. So magic E is when we add an E to the end of the word and the vowel says its own name, remember? Part of the song, remember we learned that song? It says, the silent E appears, the silent E appears. It makes the vowel say its name, the silent E appears. So, just like in one of the words that Mr. Rogers wrote, the word pin, you can change to the word pine just by adding an E. I miss you too, Charlie, but I'm glad to see you here as best as I can. Let's see if we can do another one. How about, if you have a pencil and paper, you can write along too. How about we write the word mad? Mad. How do we change it to made? All we do is add an E. My letters are a little wonky because I'm writing them backwards. Made. Very good. How about, let's try the word, I should have put my words in front of me so I could think of them quicker. Let's try the word kit. Kit. I have an art kit with lots of crayons. Now how do you make it say kite? Kite. We add an E. Very good. Hi, Miss Letty, and maybe Elijah. Okay, let's try stretching some magic E words on our own. Remember, when we hear the sound saying A saying its own name, a lot of times we need to put an E at the end. So let's try the word lake. Lake. Lake Michigan is the lake that's closest to Chicago. Let's stretch it. Ready? L-A-K. Lake. Ready? You write it. What does it say without the E? It's a nonsense word. Lack, right? But we know we need an E to make it say lake. Very good. A-K-E is a really important ending because there are so many words you can spell with A-K-E. If you can you type a word in your phone that ends with ache? What letters can you put in front of ache to make a different word? You could just write the letter too. What letter can I put in front? How about take? Yeah, I need a T. What else could I put there? How about an M? If I have an M there, what does it say? Oh, I see Nella. She's got the right. She has a T. Make. Very good. What else could I put? I can make take, make, lake. Some of you, oh, I see Jose. He did this word. Bake. Very good. He baked some banana bread for me. It was really yummy. I shared it with my sister yesterday. I see Nella has the word cake. Very good. Charlie's got make. Excellent. You know, sometimes you can put two letters in front. Can you think of the two letters you need to make the name of an animal that slithers? What letters do you need to make that word? To slither. What animal slithers? Oh, S is always tricky for me to write backwards. Let's see. Snake. Very good. Oh, I see Charlie's got one. A W. Wake. Oh, yeah, I see two snakes there. Nice job, everybody. Awake can mean two things. It can mean a gathering when someone has passed away. You might have a wake and you all get together to celebrate that person. Or it can mean the water that comes behind a boat. When a boat goes in the water, it makes a wake behind it and it's really wavy. Very good. Oh, I see Sadie's here. Good. Let's try some other ones. Let's try the word tail. Tail. There's two kinds of tails. This tail we're going to spell is the tale like a story. Like I told you the tale of Knuffle Bunny. Ooh, I see Penny's got L for lake. Very good. Let's stretch the word tail. Ready? T-A-L. Tail. Tail. The tail, like a dog's tail is wagging, is spelled differently. It has a vowel team. But tail, like story, has a magic E. T-A-L-E. Very good. Can anyone think of any other words we can make with A-L-E? A-L-E. There's another really big animal that ends with this sound. It has an H brother at the beginning. Wah, wah. I saw some people put pictures of the snake when they were guessing that word. That's a funny idea. Cute. What animal starts with W and ends with ale? Oh, I see Jose's got it. Nice job. Hi, Zane. I'm so happy to see you here. It's the H brother, W-H. Oh, that looks really wonky. Whale. Very good. How about the word that means when you go to a store and the price is less than what you thought it would be? Then that item is on, Oh, I see. Penny's got a good one. We'll do that one next. The video game was on, means it was cheaper. Sale with an S. Very good. How do we make the word kale? Kale is a vegetable that's really kind of like dark green and like curly. How would you write the word kale? Kale. With a K. Very good. It could C and K make the same sound, but this one is kale. Excellent. Okay, let's write a sentence. This sentence is a question. So think about what kind of end mark you're going to put at the end. Okay? I was thinking about Harry Potter when I thought about this sentence. There's one chapter when they go to a zoo and they see a snake in a cage and then the glass disappears. So let's write a sentence about that. The sentence is, did you see the snake in the cage? Did you see the snake in the cage? 8 words. Ready? Did you see? Did you see the? Those are all words we can spell in a snap. We know those really well. Did you see the snake? Did you see the snake in? Did you see the snake in the? Did you see the snake in the cage? K-A-J. The j in this word is a little tricky. It sounds like jump, but it's actually the letter you use in giraffe. Which letter do you think that is? While you're finishing, I'm going to write my sentence, and just like at school, if you finish, draw a picture to match your sentence, okay? If you finish, check to see if you have a capital at the beginning and an end mark at the end. So this sentence is a question. It's saying, did you see it? Yes or no. It's looking for an answer. So what kind of end mark do you need when you're looking for an answer? Okay, let's see if I got all of these letters facing the right way. We'll see. Sometimes I think I've nailed it, and then I have one backwards. Okay, you guys ready? So just like at school, if you see, oh, Maggie typed it. Nice job. If you see that your word looks different, just change it, right? And that helps your brain grow. When you see, oh, that wasn't right the first time. When you change it, that helps your brain remember, oh yeah, that's the right way. That's okay. Okay, here we go. Did, capital D-I-D, did, you, Y-O-U, C-S-E-E, the, T-H-E, snake, S-N-A-K-E, N-I-N, the, T-H-E, cage, C-A-G-E, and a question mark. Oh, Sadie typed it too. Nice job. The G in this word is making the J sound, like giraffe. But we also know that J makes that sound too. Sometimes you can just tell, just by looking at the word, which letter goes there, because that doesn't really look right to me, because I know I've seen that word before. So sometimes you can tell just by looking, and sometimes you can't, and that's okay. Okay, today we're also going to practice a little bit of math. So if you saw on your schedule for IXL tomorrow, I put 2 links there for some topics for you to do, and I thought that we could practice some subtraction because it's been a while since we've done some subtraction. So when you go on to IXL, you can open up that document and click on that link, and it should take you right to that topic. If you pass both of the topics that I put there, or if you've done them already, you can go and choose a different subtraction topic. If you click on math and go to level C, there's lots of subtraction topics, so you can pick a different one if you've already finished those, or if you finish them and you still have computer time to do for math. I want you to try to do 15 minutes if you can. But today you're going to work on math score, so you'll just do whatever topic that you're on math score. See if you can get 5 stars, okay? But today we're going to practice subtraction. So let's see. What are some ways, you might know this problem right away. What are some ways you could solve this problem? 14 minus 6. What's something you could do? What are some of the ways we learned? We could draw a picture, right? And I really like to draw pictures of tens frames, right? So I could draw 14 in a tens frame. I know that I can fill this tens frame up really quick, right? Because I know there's tens in it, right? So I just have to add 4 more, on the bottom to get 14. And then what I can do is I can erase 6 of them. I can take the 4 on the bottom plus 2 in the tens frame. And then I can count them, but I also know a lot about tens frames. So if I know that a full tens frame is 8, and 2 of them, if I know that a full tens frame is 10, and 2 are missing, then the number I have there is 8. 14 minus 6 equals 8. You could draw 14 circles and cross them out, but what I really like about a tens frame is that I can keep track of my numbers so that I don't get jumbled up and I don't forget how many that I drew. It helps me to stay organized. Oh, good. I see lots of 8s there. Now, I made a number line. Some of these numbers might be backwards, just so you know. I could also use a number line. I could start on 14, and if I'm subtracting, I'm going this way towards 0. So I could start on 14 and make 6 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we go, landing on 8 again. When we get the same number 2 times, that means we most likely did it right. That's called double checking. Very good. See if you can draw a tens frame on what you're working on. I'll show you how you can do it quickly. First you draw kind of a long, skinny rectangle. Then you draw a line down the middle. Now here's where it gets tricky, because you think that you should draw 5 lines up and down, but you only need to draw 4 lines up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives you 10 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. If you have like a permanent marker at home, you could draw a tens frame on a paper, and then you can use a pencil to color in the tens frame, and then each time you can erase your circles, but because the marker doesn't erase, then you don't have to draw another tens frame each time. So that's something you could use at home to help you. Let's try this one. Let's try 17 minus 9. 17 minus 9. You could also make yourself a number line at home. You just kind of need a long skinny paper. You draw numbers 1 through 20. 17 minus 9. So first I would start by filling in my tens frame, because that's 10. How many more do I need to draw underneath to get 17? Right, I need to draw 7. So even though there's not a tens frame under there, I'm still going to kind of draw it like a tens frame. I do 5 in one row and 2 in the other. Just because always kind of doing it in the same way helps me stay organized so that I don't get track of how many circles I drew, because then I have to start over and it just takes too long. But if you have a tens frame, it helps keep you organized. So now to subtract 9, first I start with the 7. I take the 7 away from the bottom. How many more do I have to subtract to get to 9? 2 more. Very good. And look, this is the same picture. There's a tens frame with 2 missing, so that number must be 8. So those 2 number sentences have the same difference. The difference is the math word for answer to a subtraction problem. Very good. This is one of your topics for tomorrow, picking out all of the sentences that have the same answer or the same difference. Let's see if you can think of a subtraction problem that equals 8. Can you think of a subtraction problem that equals 8? What number minus what number equals 8? What numbers could we put there? How could we figure this out? You might know some facts like that. You might be thinking of math mountains, 3 numbers that go together. What number sentence could you do that equals 8? Try to think of one, and then I'm going to show you something you can do to help you figure it out. So I could use a number sentence, right? So I could start on 8, because that's where I'm jumping to, right? And then I can count my jumps and the number that I land on, right? So if I start on 8 and jump 2, 1, 2, I get to 10. And then I have my 3 numbers, 8, 2, and 10. And the only way that they make sense together is 10 minus 2 equals 8. Oh, 2s are really hard for me to write backwards. 10 minus 2 equals 8. I miss you too, Emerson. Oh, very good. Caleb's got one. Ones that you don't even have to jump for is when you use zeros, right? You can do 8 minus 0 equals 8, because the 0 means you're not jumping anywhere, right? You could also change it to 8 plus 0 equals 8, and they both equal the same thing. Ooh, Charlie's got a good one. Let's see. So we could start on 8 and jump 11. Let's see where we end up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We ended up on 19. So now we have 8, 11, and 19. So to put those in a subtraction sentence, we start with the biggest number first, 19. Then we jumped 11 times, and we landed on 8. Very good. You also can use what you know about tens, right? If you know 8 has an 8 in the ones place, and 18 has an 8 in the ones place. There's only 10. There's the difference of 10. So I know that 18 minus 10 equals 8. Very good. I see Jose has 11 minus 3. If you start on 8, you can jump up 3 to get to 11. 1, 2, 3. That's why all of these things are what we were doing before we left school, right? Thinking about fact families like this. If I have 11, 8, and 3, I can do 8 plus 3 equals 11, right? 3 plus 8 equals 11. And then I can start at the top. When I'm adding, I start at the bottom and climb up. When I'm subtracting, I start at the top and slide down. So then the other subtraction sentences I can do are 11 minus 3 equals 8. And there's another one I can do. Which other subtraction sentence can I do with this one? I'll write it over here. 11 minus 8 equals 3. Excellent job, everybody. So on Math Score today, you might be working on subtraction, but on IXL tomorrow, I would like you to work on a subtraction topic. The ones I sent you, or a different one in level C. Okay, the last thing we're going to do today is I'm going to read you a story. Now, last week we read some nonfiction teaching books about families who live all over the world. And we learned about some families that live in houses that look pretty similar to ours. Like this girl, Polonia, lives in Russia, and we saw a lot of pictures that her house looked a lot like our houses. But then we saw some pictures of people who lived very different lives than we did. This family who lives in the Sahara, they're nomadic, which means they move from place to place. So they were building houses with things that they could either carry easily, something that was light like hay, or something that they could, using things that they could find wherever they ended up next. And these people are nomadic because they live in a place where there is not a lot of water. It's the desert. So they have to move from place to place to make sure that they have enough water for themselves to make things like here they're probably boiling water so it's safe to drink. And so that their animals, like this camel over here, have enough water to survive too. So their houses look very different than ours because they don't live in a place where there are pipes to turn on water. They have to move from place to place to find it. So their houses can be either carried easily or can be built wherever they end up. So some people who live like this, they have a house that's really not very big, and it doesn't need to be very big because they spend most of the time outside gathering things, looking for things to eat or to build their shelter with, and then they're mostly inside to cook meals and to sleep. But we live in a society that's not nomadic. We live pretty stationary. We mostly stay in the same place. And something that's really important right now and might be something that could be frustrating at your house is maybe not feeling like you have enough room, especially when we're all at home together. A lot of times during the regular school year, people go out during the day, they come back, and then when you're at home at nighttime, you probably don't feel squished like that because you've all been out and somewhere else. But we might be feeling right now that we're kind of stuck and that we're all maybe sharing a space that feels too small. So today I thought I could read you this book called My Very Own Room. And what's cool about this book is that it's also written in Spanish. On one page, the words are in Spanish, and on the other page, the words are in English. Okay, so I'm going to read this book to you today, and afterwards, in your journal, I want you to think about this question and write about it. The question is, tell about the best day with your family. That could be maybe yesterday you had a really fun day, or maybe a party or a special event, or just a really fun day playing games or doing something special at home with your family. But the reason I chose this book is because I think in this book, at the end, this girl has her very best day with her family. So I want you to think about what this girl would write in her journal if she was talking about that day. Okay, so I'm going to show you the picture of the words that I'm not reading. So sometimes they might not always match up, but I thought it would be more interesting to you to look at the pictures. So this is called My Very Own Room. Here's the girl. Does she look like she's getting a good night's sleep? Here are all her brothers sleeping soundly. I woke up one morning on a crowded bed in a crowded room. Victor's elbow was jabbing me in the ribs. Mario had climbed out of his crib and crawled in with us. Now his leg lay across my face and I could hardly breathe. In the bed next to ours, my 3 brothers were sleeping. I was getting too big for this. I was almost 9 years old and I was tired of sharing a room with my 5 little brothers. More than anything in the whole world, I wanted my own room. So she doesn't look like there's not enough room for her in this room. A little space was all I wanted, but there wasn't much of it. Our tiny house was shared by 8 of us, and sometimes more when our friends and relatives came from Mexico and stayed with us until they found jobs and places to live. Once a family with 8 kids, mostly boys, lived with us for 2 months. It was noisy and a lot of fun. There was always a long line to use the bathroom, though, and the toilet seat was always warm. Ooh, yuck. Look at all these people in her house. Oh, I see some people are going to write about Easter. Yeah, that's a fun thing to write about. Sometimes very early in the morning, while everyone was still sleeping, I would climb up the crooked ladder that leaned against the elm tree in our backyard. I would sit on a little board, pretending it was a bench, and just think. I could hear my father snoring. He worked all night at the factory and went to bed just before dawn. Dawn is when the sun comes up again. I loved my brothers. It wasn't that I didn't want to be near them. I just needed a place of my own. You might be feeling that way at home right now. You love your family, but maybe you just feel like you need a little space because we're all so close together right now. I tiptoed around our tiny 2-bedroom house. I peeked behind the curtain my mother had made from flour sacks to separate the living room from the storage closet. This is it. This could be my room. I imagined it with my own bed, table, and lamp, a place where I could read the books I loved and write in my diary and dream. So she found a little space. I sat down among the boxes. My mother must have heard me because she came in from the kitchen. Mama, it's perfect, I said, and I told her my idea. Ay, mijita, you do not understand. We are storing my sister's sewing machine and your uncle's garden tools. Someday they will need their things to make a better living in this new country. And there's the furniture and old clothes, she said. Slowly, she shook her head. So it doesn't really look like there's enough room for her to make a room right now. There's all this stuff in there. This is a nice picture. Then she saw the determination on my face and the tears forming in my eyes. Wait, she said, seriously thinking. Maybe we could put these things on the back porch and cover them with old blankets. And we could put a tarp on top so nothing would get ruined, I added. Yes, I think we can do it. Let's take everything out and see how much space there is. I gave her a great big hug and she kissed me. After breakfast, we started pushing the old furniture out to the back porch. Everyone helped. We were like a mighty team of powerful ants. We carried furniture, tools, and machines. We dragged bulging bags of old clothes and toys. We pulled boxes of treasures and overflowing junk. Finally, everything was out except for a few cans of leftover paint from the time we had painted the house. So there, everybody's helping. Each can had just a tiny bit of paint inside. There was pink and blue and white, but not nearly enough of any one color to paint the room. I have an idea, I said to my brothers. Let's mix them. Hector and Sergio helped me pour one can into another, and we watched the colors swirl together. A new color began to appear, a little like purple and much stronger than pink. Magenta! We painted and painted until we ran out of paint. Oh, I see so many nice emojis and so many nice messages. Thanks, everybody. Those make me feel really good when I see them. What are they going to do with this string? Mama showed me how to measure my new magenta wall with a piece of bright yellow yarn left over from the last baby blanket she had crocheted. Tio Pancho was going back to Mexico and said I could have his bed, but we had to let him know if it would fit. We cut off the piece of yarn that showed us just how big the bed could be. We all ran to Tio Pancho's waving the piece of yarn. We measured his bed. Perfect! That yellow piece of yarn was magical. What a good idea! You can use the string to see how long something is and then cut the string, and then you can use it to measure if the thing you want to fit is the right size. That's a great idea. A little later, Tio Pancho arrived with my new bed tied to the roof of his car. I ran out and hugged him. Papa helped me carry the bed in and carefully ease it into place. My brothers jumped up and down and everybody clapped. Then Raul moved an empty wooden crate over to my new bed and stood it on end to make a bedside table. All you need is a little lamp, my mother said. There's Tio Pancho. She brought out a shoebox with blue chip stamps she had been collecting for years. Mama and Papa got them for free when they bought food or gas. They were like little prizes that could be used as money at special stores. But before we could spend them, we had to paste them into a special stamp book. We licked and licked and pasted and pasted. When we were done, Papa drove us to the stamp store. Have you ever licked a stamp? It doesn't really taste bad. It just kind of feels like kind of gooey on your tongue. I saw the lamp I wanted right away. It was as dainty as a beautiful ballerina, made of white ceramic glass with a shade that had ruffles around the top and bottom. I shut my eyes. I was so excited, yet so afraid we wouldn't have enough stamps to get it. Then I heard my mother's voice. Yes, mijita, we have enough. When we got home, I carefully set the new lamp on the bedside table. Then I lay on my new bed and stared at the ceiling, thinking, something was still missing. The most important thing. Now, I have a really funny picture of Pola when she was in first grade licking a stamp with Logan when we went to the post office. I imagine your face looking kind of similar to hers when you said yuck. Books! The next day, I went to our public library and rushed home with my arms full of books, 6 to be exact. It was my lucky number because there were 6 children in my family. Nice. I love to read books in my room too. I don't know if you can see, but I have books all back there. Lots of books set up over there. Can you see them over there? And in the corner, all my school books. That evening, I turned on my new lamp and read and read. My 2 littlest brothers, Mario and Victor, stood in the doorway holding back the flour sack curtain. I invited them in. They cuddled up on my new bed and I read them a story. Then we said goodnight and they went back to their room. Do any of you guys do this at home? Read to your younger brothers and sisters? Oh, thank you. I got a compliment about my house being beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a really great thing to do. You guys are all such good readers. You could be the readers to your younger brothers and sisters. Here she is, her first night. I felt like the luckiest, happiest little girl in the whole world. Everyone in our family had helped to make my wish come true. Before I could even turn out the light, I fell asleep peacefully under a blanket of books in my very own room. This was the part I was thinking that if she had this journal assignment, she would write about this day. This was the best day with her family because it took all of them working together to make this special thing happen for her. She didn't do it on her own. They all worked together. Her brothers and sisters, her mom and dad, her uncle, they all worked together to make this dream come true for her. So maybe you might want to write about a time when maybe you got your own room or something about a time where your family worked together to make something special for someone else. So in your journal today, I want you to write about a day where you felt like you had the best day with your family. And you can show it to your parents or your brothers and sisters, or you can take a picture and you can send it to me. I love seeing what you're working on. So I'd like you to work on that today. I would like you to work on math score and Lexia and try to do some reading at home. Try to read for 15 minutes. It might be books that you have at home that you can read. If the books at home are too hard for you to read on your own, you can always do books on Raz Kids too. So see if you can work on those things today. If you have a printer at home, you could print out the schedule that I emailed to your moms and dads, and you can put a box, you could put an X into all the things as you finish them. And on the bottom, I put some links to Cat Party and Popsico, because we haven't seen those in a long time, and a Trolls yoga video, because I know some of you watched the new Trolls video this weekend. So that could be a fun thing to do at home. Okay, it was so nice to see all of you today. I'm going to put this up on YouTube, so if you missed part of it, you could watch it, or you could watch it again if you really like this story. I loved seeing you all today, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10. Bye, everybody.